Good morning and many blessings to everyone. We like to go ahead and start off by thanking the great family, the mystery of the great family of God, of the great mother, the great brother Christ, the great brother Lucifer, and the great Father. And so, today we are going to speak on the man who gave his life for us to connect us to the mystery of the family of God. We would like to present to you two concepts and ideas. One, thinking is about alignment and not a starting point. So, thinking is about alignment of the senses before you think, or thinking as a starting point, no alignment. Hidden opposites. If you don't lift your foot, it stays stuck to the ground. If you lift your hand, you have to put it down. If you drink water, you calm your thirst. If you don't, you stay thirsty. Or you have to go urinate. So if you don't fart, it hurts your stomach. And what happens if you fart? You have to exclude yourself and you have to tell people to clear the room because you came in externally. And so we would also like to present to you some other concepts and ideas. We would like to present three words, their current use and their etymological origin. The word sin as an immoral act against divine law. The word sacrifice, the act of giving something valuable up for a goal or purpose. And respect, a deep admiration towards something, anything. These are the current uses of the word. In their origin, the word sin is Greek or Hebrew, and it is to miss the point or miss the mark. Sacrifice, or Latin origin, to make sacred, to perform a sacred act, to do something or to practice what's meaningful. And respect, to Latin, to look back, regard, or consider, acknowledge, accept. Identities disconnect us from ourselves and our body. Identities are the social masks we wear. Overvaluation leads to moral injury, especially when people we trust or are in power break their promises. You are not your leaders. You are not your leaders' identities, and you are not your identities. The inner you is without identities, human being. So remember that you are separate from your identities, because moral injury occurs when people we identify with do not keep their promises. Remember, you're not them. We have a lot of political identities in this country. We have the left, we have the right, we have independents, and then I think there's a few other groups, and then people don't really care about four. I would say just submit right there, but there's more, right? And so you could say that the country is like a human being, right? It's supposed to feel, sense, intuit, and think. Sensations, alignment, and then thought. These days we just want to think. We don't want to feel, sense, or intuit. This creates a disconnect from ourselves, from our families, from our societies, and it overvalues identities, external things that we're not necessarily connected to. So, in becoming one-sided in logos or pathos, in our logic and feeling, right, one outweighing the other, kind of like trying to cut one hand off or the other, we need both hands, we are losing our ethos or our center point, our interpersonal integrity. If you're not identified to your identity or your leader's identity, when values are broken or when horribleness happens outside of you, they're like, whoa, this is not what I signed up for. Then you reduce the risk of moral injury. Why? Because you remember that that's not you. And remember, that's when you take a step back and you go back to your communities. We say this because of the impact this is having on all religious and spiritual leaders, churches, structures, beliefs, peoples, children, women and men, insects, animals, and plants. And especially for church leaders have their own personal views, values, ideals, identities, etc., their opinions. Imagine they have to take stuff in, like all the nasty garbage, and find a good message of hope in that. Imagine having to take all this in and then go back to your congregation, which is made up of liberals, conservatives, independents, and people who don't care, and create a neutral ground while following the great family of God and inspiring hope, faith, like undoubted faith, right? And belief. And And imagine the difficulty of offering hope and trust amidst the atrocities. Imagine being a guide who can't fight, because fighting is different than guiding, right? And we have now seen, like Friedrich Nietzsche says, those who fight with monsters beware lest you become a monster. We are now seeing firsthand what fighting and what our quickness to violence is resulting in. So we ask that you put your identities aside, so you are one with yourself, your word, your family, your community, with your God, with spirit, whatever you believe in. This will reduce the effect of moral injury on a personal level. This removes fear and gives us a strength and belief to move forward together as a country. Come on, yo. We live in the greatest country ever. There was nothing ever wrong with this country. This is America. We're Americans. In this country, we can. You understand? This country's been great. So we will move forward past this as a country. Now, considering the etymology of the word respect, to look at, recognize, or acknowledge, we believe that we have, as a society, we have lost respect for death. We are overexposed to violence. It's in video games, films, news, newspapers, sports, idioms. I could kill that man, I'm gonna kill this woman, I'm gonna kill that kid, right? Or we're gonna kill that fly, kill the mouse, kill that, we kill this, we kill that, whatever. And then we have also entertainment. We have psychological thrillers where people show how other people get killed. And people are like, oh, I find that just riveting. Horror, slaughter, possession, gruesomeness, decapitations, murder with no purpose, right? Like, or just, oh, look at horror and murder and like as entertainment. As in, these are genres. We're like, oh yeah. Or so, and we ourselves are a fan of many like equalizing movies and John Wick movies. We're like, it's very difficult at times to watch though. Our body shields us, our eyes shields us. Why? Because that crunching and the boom, boom, boom. I'm like, oh geez, just to like save or get one person, you slaughter countries, right? Saving one at the cost of many. What I'm getting at is this overexposure to violence and the like how we just kill everything, is this being respectful towards death? In the same way that we believe that words like hate should be excluded from our vocabulary, can you imagine if the word hate was removed? People would misunderstand, miss the point, would be tired, stressed, things that can be worked through. Hate is a static. It's just like, I hate this. Misunderstandings are dynamic. It's odd, right? Why? Because they encourage dialogue, and dialogue leads to growth. Misunderstandings can be worked through. Hate's very difficult to work through. We also believe that people who use the word hate and I hate, they always use that word to themselves first. We use those words that we most use to ourselves. I hate myself. So, without hate, can you imagine? Without hate, there would only be misunderstandings that can be worked out with love. If so, the opposite of love is hate, then without hate, there'd only be what? Misunderstandings, tiredness, as we can work through those things. And now we present to you our premise for updating beliefs. We didn't say the belief was not real. We just said updating. Overexposure to violence, overvalue of thinking without alignment. We're not tuned into our senses. We're just thinking a think, not seeing how it feels. What's the future going to hold for it? Like, right? We're not making a full conscious decision. And so we say this, that the reason that belief needs to be updated, the value of blood used to be very valuable back then. It stopped wars. As of right now, no amount of blood that's been shed is enough for any leader of any of the wars going on to come to a consensus to stop wars. Meaning, really contemplate this. The value of human blood does not have the same value today as it did back then. The blood of Christ does not have the same value today as it did back then. People are expendable in leaders to countries. You are not expendable to us. You make up countries. Without human beings, without you, there would be no human wonders, no culture, no arts, no sciences, no languages, no expressions of the one but many God. As a noun, the opposites sit here. God and devil, heaven and hell. If we reinterpret sin as missed points, then there is no reason for Jesus to give his life as a sacrifice. He doesn't have to give himself up for us. Instead, he practiced what was sacred to him to connect us to God. He does not die this way. If we miss the point, we can reverse course, align ourselves, and therefore there's no devil to blame. And as a result, Lucifer never falls. And if Lucifer does fall with his thinking, he picks himself up. But he picks himself up with his heart as well. Lucifer and the Christ together, the twin brothers. Why? Because if there is no hell and devil, then we don't project them out into the world. If there's no evil outside of me, then all we have left is people. Would future generations be quick to war if they were not fighting evil in the world? We can say that evil, for us, we say that evil is actually the effect of unresolved issues amongst people. They're misunderstandings which can be remedied with love. But adults have a concept like the devil. I want you to really contemplate this in terms to kids. Have you ever been at the playground and observed kids like they're playing and they maybe one of the kid pushes each other or hurts another? They're the kids, do they, oh no, the devil made me do it, sorry. No, the kids, oh hey, I'm sorry. Dust each other off. They laugh about it right? But either way, kids don't blame someone else. They take accountability. A kid's intuition. When you're feeling sad, feeling low, brothers, sisters, mothers, fathers, who comes up to you? The youngest member of your family. Oh, hey, how are you doing? Huh? We need to take a lesson from children, And so could it be by having a future place of torment that we envision and that through a self-fulfilling prophecy complex, that we are creating here today what we are okay with in the future? So if we're okay with hells in the future, then we're okay with creating them here today. Could this hidden opposite be the reason why we are witnessing what could be experienced hell on earth? So, the hidden opposite and implication is that without hell and the devil, the only thing in contrast to God and to complement God isn't the devil, would be man, God and man. And if there's no hell, the only thing hell and heaven, the only thing to contrast and complement heaven then is earth, heaven and earth. Think of the moral implication of the future generations. Your children and their progeny will never say the devil made me do it or I don't know. Instead, future generations would align themselves before thinking, take their senses into account, and then think. And instead of fighting evil or devils, they would look internally for alignment and instead fix misunderstandings with love. This is why the wonders of God, even with an updated translation, the story and original themes still work. He was still born. He still died. The only reason that changes in reinterpretations is the reason why he died. Connecting us to the mystery of the family of God, right? Our reinterpretation is that Jesus didn't die to save us from eternal damnation. He died connecting us to the experience of God here and now, to the great mystery. So this is the power of hidden opposites. When I started this and I said no heaven, no hell, and no devil, some of you were like, oh, well, no God, no this. No, that was your head, the voice in your head speaking louder. Yeah, that's the hidden power of it. We never said God was not real. We never said Christ was not real. We never said the belief is not real. These things are very real. We simply stated, maybe like any other application, it needs to be updated to match our current thinking complexities and scientific structures. We have explained God away. We need to give the family of God back their proper place and their mystery, their wonder and their awe. There's no way we have explained the mystery of life away. God does not work yesterday or tomorrow. He works here today for a better today. Guiding heaven both internally and externally, the covenant of salvation stays the same. The promise is to guide to heaven by supporting us in working through missed points. Now that I've presented this, do you really need a man to give up his life to be able to do these things on your own and save you from eternal damnation? Knowing that the family of God, Christ, the great mother, the great father, are here with you? The celebrations stay the same. A man was still born who connected us to the mystery of God and its effect on people. And he still died so that we can remember the commitment it takes and misunderstandings that can be worked through with empathy when we trust our divine parents and ourselves, our body and our heart. The only thing that changes is that he died connecting us to God and not saving us from eternal damnation. If we're not creating a future, right? If we're not having to sacrifice someone for a better future, do you think we'd be sacrificing people today for a better future? Wars. We believe that this concept of eternal damnation is a culprit for what we see. Think of the moral implications and the perspective and paradigm shift this would create. If it's God and man, heaven and earth, Christ and us, there's no evil, only people, human beings just like us, just like me, like you, with quirks and kinks. This would have future, the implication is there'd be direct accountability to ourselves and to God. There's no more blaming anybody else or anything outside of us. We would like to challenge people to pick up the cross. It has a healing purpose, whether you use it in a theological and religious sense or in a psychological practice. This is a wonder of the great mystery of the family of God. Like, you can, and so we challenge people because we dislike the dead Jesus these days. Put your pick in there, your families, or you can make a cross with or make up your own cross for your own family. Like, what we're saying is, make a cross where the Jesus is up and holding, or maybe he's holding your picture, he's high five, because the Christ isn't dead. It's very much alive, let me tell you. We challenge everyone to get to know more about other people's beliefs, religions, mythology, theology, practical psychology, right? More about symbols and other beliefs that maybe even you might, no. Get to know other things and other masks of God. We ask that everyone have a church day or spirit day where you and your loved ones discuss what your particular belief means to you without any attachments to religion or to thought structures. Not what, this is what I think it means, or the Bible. No, what do you feel it means to you without any intellect on there? Just feeling at its core. What do you sense it means to you? And so whether you're an atheist, a Gnostic, a Satanist, a spiritualist, a scientificalist, or any whatever belief you have, right? How is it that it's firmly attached to you? Is that's what we want. How is that your belief is attached to you without thoughts and ideas? How do you feel it? And where is it you experience it most outside of you? And where does your heart guide you when you feel most you or aligned with your thinking? We also encourage personal days, couples days, family days, to treat them as a church or service days. Your body is your first church, right? You're your own first temple. And then comes the temple of your spouse. And then comes the temple of your family, for those who have families. And then your community and your work colleagues and everyone, right? These are all little different churches you attend to. Treat them as such so that you remember to keep your belief alive every minute of every day. And so how is it that you can continue to feel it rather than only think it? Thinking is of the head, right? It's static. But alignment with thinking, previous to thinking, that's of the body. That's dynamic. And so to summarize, we believe that concepts like evil and hell and the devil, as well as words in our vocabulary and our overexposure to violence, overvaluation of identities, and lack of firm rootedness in our beliefs, and the respect for death is a cause for the social issues you see these days. Beliefs can be reinterpreted and should be to match our times and thought processes. Like, if we remove the metaphysical for things, it makes them real and empirical. By updating our belief, we restore the family of God their mystery, right? We give back to God the wonder and awe instead of, we explain God away. But also we prove empirically the healing and transformative power of the mystery of the family of God in the cross, right? So 2 empirical proofs, theological and psychological. That's what we're proving here. We never came to disprove. We came to prove. We update apps, music. We update our cultures, our literature, our fashions. Remember when men used to wear makeup and wigs and high heels, and they'd be like, "Women, get in the camp," and they used to be all fancy, like more dolled up than a doll, right? And Or when the founders of democracy wore sheets, we thought sheets was the fashion. Hey, we updated all these things. And so what I'm saying is, if we updated everything about ourselves, why haven't we updated and moved forward with us the family of God and the belief? Why have we left God in the past with his family? And the things that created us, yeah, we left them way back there. We need to bring them forward into the future with us. And so I guess what we're saying is that there are too many in-betweens between us and the family of God. By removing the devil and hell, we are able to close the separating gap and form a new bond directly to God and his family, to yourselves, and to and everything around you. So this is our presentation. Many blessings. We are much obliged. Thank the great family and the mystery of the family of God.